Hello everyone, this is Stella. And before you book that next flight to visit grandchildren or take that dream vacation you've been planning for years, I need you to understand something critical. The airport system you're walking into isn't designed to help you. It's designed to extract money from you before you even reach your gate. Behind those friendly smiles and helpful kiosks, airlines and airports run a silent playbook filled with psychological tricks, hidden fees, and quiet traps that specifically target travelers over 60 who remember when flying used to be simple and straightforward. Last month at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, Mrs. Patricia Collins, age 68, a retired teacher flying to Portland to surprise her daughter for her 40th birthday, walks up to the gate feeling confident. She's flown dozens of times, knows the routine, trusts the system, but within 15 minutes, she's standing at the counter in tears, forced to pay $85 in unexpected baggage fees. Her exit row seat she requested got given away without explanation, and the flight credit from her canceled trip last year that she thought was worth $300 turns out to be expired, completely worthless. And the gate agent just keeps saying, "I'm sorry, ma'am, that's our policy," while the line behind her grows longer and people start sighing loudly. Patricia arrives in Portland 4 hours late on a different flight, misses the entire surprise birthday dinner she planned for months, shows up exhausted and embarrassed, and her daughter tries to hide her disappointment. But Patricia can see it in her eyes. The whole trip feels ruined before it even started, and all because she didn't know the 8 secrets I'm about to share with you today. This isn't paranoia. This isn't conspiracy theory. These are documented airline practices that I've witnessed for 15 years as a flight attendant, whispered among crew members, buried in TSA reports, shared only among travelers who've learned the game from the inside. And in fall 2025, these tactics are more aggressive than ever because airlines know seniors represent the largest growing demographic of air travelers, which means you're the primary target for every fee, every upgrade upsell, every confusing policy change designed to separate you from your money. Today, I'm walking you through every single secret so you never end up like Patricia, so you never lose hundreds of dollars to hidden traps, so you never miss your granddaughter's wedding because an algorithm canceled your seat. So pay close attention because your next trip absolutely depends on understanding this. The first secret is the exit row trick airlines desperately hope you never learn. It always starts with a seat, the kind that seems ordinary until you realize it's the single biggest upgrade you can get without spending a cent. The emergency exit row, those few precious inches of legroom, can transform a cramped 5-hour nightmare into a comfortable flight. But here's what airlines don't want you knowing. They weaponize this comfort. American Airlines charges up to $95 for exit row seats, Delta up to $165 for the same air you're already breathing. It's brilliant profit, but it's also a system that can be beaten if you know exactly where to press. 3 weeks ago at Phoenix Sky Harbor, Mr. George Harrison, age 71, a retired postal worker with chronic knee problems, flying to Boston for his grandson's bar mitzvah, books his ticket online and sees exit row seats available for $75 extra. He considers it because his knees swell terribly on long flights. But $75 feels like too much for just a little space, so he books regular economy and figures he'll manage the pain like always. George gets to the airport 3 hours early, checks in at the kiosk, walks to his gate, sees the gate agent at the desk looking friendly and approachable, and he remembers advice his daughter told him. "Dad, just ask nicely. The worst they can say is no." So George walks up calmly, smiles warmly, and says, "Excuse me, I have pretty bad knees from my postal route days. If you happen to have any exit row seats available, I'd be honored to take that responsibility. I'm very capable, and I fly several times a year." And the gate agent looks at her screen, sees 3 exit row seats still open, looks at George who's dressed neatly, speaking politely, seems responsible and calm, and she says, "You know what, sir? Let me move you. You seem like exactly the kind of passenger we want in that row." George boards the plane with an exit row seat he didn't pay $75 for. His knees have room to stretch. He arrives in Boston comfortable instead of in pain, walks into the bar mitzvah feeling energized instead of limping, and it cost him nothing except politeness and confidence. But here's what most seniors don't realize. Airlines genuinely need responsible people in exit rows. It's a federal safety requirement, and gate agents have discretion to assign those seats to passengers they trust, especially when flights aren't completely full. The psychology is simple. When you approach the desk with confidence, friendliness, and a small reasonable explanation using the word because, your success rate jumps dramatically. Research shows that adding because to any request, even with a minor reason, increases compliance. Could I get the exit row because my legs are long? Could I switch because I have knee issues? The reason barely matters. It's the structure of the request that triggers cooperation. But here's the critical part for seniors specifically. Never demand. Never complain about age or health as if you're owed something. Instead, position yourself as capable and responsible. I'd be honored to assist in an emergency. I'm very aware of the duties required. This language signals you're an asset, not a liability. And gate agents respond to that. If they say no, don't argue. Just thank them and move on. But if you board and notice the person assigned to the exit row seems incapable, drunk, or unresponsive, quietly alert a flight attendant. They'll often look for a replacement, and if you're seated nearby and seem capable, guess who gets upgraded? The second secret is how TSA reads your body language without you even realizing it. At security, everyone's focused on bins, belts, laptops, shoes, the physical items. But while you're juggling all that, TSA officers are quietly watching something completely different. You, not your bag, not your ID, your behavior, your face, your hands, your posture. They're looking for stress indicators that supposedly signal suspicious intent. For years, the TSA used a program called SPOT, screening passengers by observation techniques. They trained officers to study passengers for signs of stress, excessive yawning, heavy sweating, avoiding eye contact, face looking pale, fidgeting hands. Any of these could quietly flag you for extra screening. The problem? The Government Accountability Office tore this system apart, saying there was zero scientific proof it could identify actual threats. Yet TSA still pours millions into similar behavioral analysis programs today. Same concept, different name, and what makes this particularly dangerous for seniors is how naturally anxious airport security makes older travelers feel. 2 weeks ago, at Miami International Airport, Mr. Franklin Martinez, age 74, flying to New York for his sister's funeral, hasn't flown in 5 years, feels nervous about all the new rules and technology, gets to the security line sweating slightly because he's worried about doing something wrong, keeps looking around checking if he's in the right place. His hands are shaking a little as he takes off his belt and shoes. A TSA officer notices this behavior, the excessive looking around, the sweating, the shaking hands, and flags him for additional screening. Franklin gets pulled aside into a separate area, has to stand there while they swab his hands for explosives, go through every item in his carry-on, pat down his jacket, other passengers walking by staring at him like he's a criminal. The whole process takes 40 minutes. He's mortified, humiliated. His sister's funeral is in 6 hours, and now he's worried about missing his flight. He finally gets cleared and rushes to his gate, boards the plane shaking and upset, arrives in New York emotionally devastated before the funeral even begins. And the worst part, he did absolutely nothing wrong. His only crime was being nervous in a system designed to criminalize nervousness. Here's what seniors need to understand about beating this behavioral profiling. You don't fake calmness. You practice it before you even enter the airport. Take deep breaths in your car. Remind yourself you've done nothing wrong. Keep your body language relaxed and your movements deliberate. Don't stare around like you're searching for approval. Don't avoid eye contact like you're hiding something. Instead, maintain neutral eye contact, brief and polite. Look like you've done this 1,000 times, even if you're secretly panicking about that forgotten water bottle. The irony is brutal. The harder you try to look innocent, the guiltier you appear. TSA officers are trained to spot trying too hard behavior, so the winning strategy is genuine calm confidence. Move through security like it's boring routine. Respond to questions with short, polite answers. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. Just visiting family. Nothing elaborate, because elaborate explanations trigger suspicion. And remember, TSA can't actually read your mind. They're just misreading your nerves, so don't give them nervous behavior to misinterpret. The third secret is the gate agent surveillance game you never noticed. You think the battle starts when boarding begins. But the truth is, you're being sized up long before that scanner beeps. Gate agents aren't just checking papers and smiling. They're scanning the waiting area, quietly hunting for oversized bags before you even step in line. Watch carefully next time. They'll sit at their desk pretending to type, glancing up every few seconds, their eyes moving like radar, mentally tagging passengers with carry-ons that look suspiciously bulky. When boarding starts, those faces are already bookmarked, ready to be pulled aside and charged. Why? Because time is money. Catching violators mid-boarding slows operations, so they plan ahead. And here's what makes this particularly unfair to seniors. Older travelers often bring medical equipment, extra clothing layers, comfort items that make bags look bulkier than they actually are, and gate agents see bulk and assume violation. Last week at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson, Mrs. Dorothy Washington, age 70, flying to Tampa for her granddaughter's high school graduation, brings a soft-sided carry-on that's technically within size limits, but packed with gifts for her granddaughter, a blanket she knitted, some books, a framed photo. The bag looks full, but it fits perfectly within the sizing frame dimensions. She's sitting at the gate waiting for her boarding group. Her bag is next to her chair. Bright floral pattern, visibly stuffed, and the gate agent keeps glancing at it, making mental notes. Boarding begins, Dorothy's group gets called, she walks up with her boarding pass ready, and before she even reaches the scanner, the agent says, "Ma'am, I need to check your bag size." Dorothy says, "Oh, I measured it at home. It fits." But the agent isn't listening, just pointing to the metal sizing frame saying, "Please place it in here." Dorothy lifts the bag. It's heavy because of the gifts. She struggles slightly getting it into the frame. It fits but barely. One corner is pressing against the frame edge, and the agent says, "Ma'am, it's too tight. That's considered oversized. You'll need to check it. That's $60. Dorothy tries to explain about the gifts, about measuring at home, but the agent is firm. Policy is policy. People in line behind Dorothy are sighing, checking watches. Someone mutters, "Come on, lady." Dorothy feels her face burning with shame, fumbles with her credit card, pays the $60, watches her bag with her granddaughter's gifts disappear down the ramp, and she boards the plane crying quietly. The gifts arrive damaged, the frame is broken, the blanket has a stain, and when she gives them to her granddaughter, she has to explain why they look ruined, and the whole graduation weekend feels tainted by that moment of public humiliation at the gate. If you want to avoid being targeted, the strategy is visibility management. Keep your bag close to your body, behind your legs or under your seat. Don't display it prominently in front of the gate desk, and this is critical. Black or dark navy bags genuinely blend in better. They don't reflect light or catch attention like bright patterns. Soft duffels and backpacks slide under radar, far easier than hard-shell suitcases. It's not about hiding. It's about not inviting scrutiny, because once that agent decides your bag looks problematic, there's absolutely no convincing them otherwise. The fourth secret is the hidden commission trap that makes gate agents stricter than ever. Here's something most travelers never realize. For some airlines, catching you at the gate isn't just policy, it's profit. Budget carriers like Spirit and Frontier quietly built a system rewarding gate agents for enforcing baggage rules. Every time they flag an oversized personal item or carry-on, they can earn $5 to $10 in commission. Multiply that by dozens of passengers daily, and suddenly every extra inch of your bag is money in someone's pocket. That's why viral videos showing gate agents arguing over bags that clearly fit aren't accidents. They're incentives in action. And here's the part that specifically targets seniors. Older travelers are often less confrontational, more likely to comply without argument, more likely to pay the fee rather than cause a scene. Airlines know this psychological profile and exploit it ruthlessly. 2 weeks ago, at Las Vegas McCarran, Mr. Robert Kim, age 72, retired accountant flying home to Seattle after visiting his son, brings a standard backpack as his personal item. It's slightly full but well within the published dimensions. He's sitting at the gate, when a Spirit Airlines agent announces, "We're checking personal item sizes today. Please have them ready." Robert's backpack is under his seat. He's not worried because he measured it carefully at home. His boarding group gets called. He walks up, and before he even scans his pass, the agent says, "Sir, that personal item needs to be tested," pointing to a metal frame. Robert places his backpack in the frame. It fits completely with room to spare, but the agent looks closely and says, "Sir, it's touching the sides. That's considered too large. Personal items must fit loosely. You'll need to pay the carry-on fee. That's $55. Robert is shocked, saying, "But it fits in the frame. I can see space." And the agent responds, "The policy says loosely, sir. This is snug." Other passengers are watching. Robert feels trapped. He's not going to miss his flight over $55, so he pays, feels angry and cheated the entire flight home, and later realizes that agent probably earned a $5 commission from flagging his perfectly compliant bag. The defense against this is bag choice and positioning. Soft minimalist designs that open wide like suitcases look more compliant than stuffed cylinders. Darker fabrics appear smaller even when full, and critically, never volunteer to test your bag. If the agent doesn't specifically ask, don't offer. Keep it close. Keep it subtle. Because in 2025, bag enforcement isn't about following rules. It's about triggering bonus systems, and the easiest way to win is never getting noticed. The fifth secret is the voluntary bag check mistake costing travelers hundreds yearly. This catches even experienced flyers off guard. You're standing by the gate, the metal sizing box is right there, curiosity takes over, you slide your bag in just to verify it fits, and that's when the gate agent's eyes lock on you. Big mistake. The moment you volunteer to test your bag, you've given them power to say, "Sorry, it doesn't fit, you'll have to check it," even if it's marginally over. That's a $60 to $100 penalty. You can't argue away. You volunteered. They didn't find you. Last Tuesday at Chicago O'Hare, Mrs. Helen Turner, age 69, flying to Denver for her nephew's wedding, brings a carry-on she's used for years, sees the sizing frame by the gate, thinks, "I should double-check just to be safe," slides her bag in. It fits, but one wheel extends slightly past the frame edge. A gate agent watching immediately walks over saying, "Ma'am, that's oversized. You'll need to check it." Helen protests, "But I've used this bag everywhere." And the agent says, "It doesn't meet our current standards. That'll be $75. Helen is devastated, pays the fee. Her wedding outfit gets wrinkled in checked baggage. She shows up to the ceremony looking disheveled, and the wedding photos haunt her because she looks unprepared in every shot. The smarter move is never offering your bag for inspection unless absolutely required. If you're uncertain whether it fits, test it discreetly at an empty gate or quiet corner away from airline staff. And if it's borderline, shift items into your pockets, wear an extra jacket. Some travelers use clothing with hidden compartments, jackets with enough storage for laptops, chargers, even shoes. It's not deception. It's self-protection in a game designed to trap you. The sixth secret is why airlines keep lying about flight delays. If you've watched your flight delay jump from 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours incrementally, you've wondered why they can't just tell the truth from the start. Here's the uncomfortable answer. Because the lie keeps you under control. Airlines know that announcing a 3-hour delay immediately triggers half the passengers to storm customer service demanding refunds, rebookings, meal vouchers, chaos. But drip-feeding delays in harmless chunks keeps you calm, seated, and trapped at the gate. 3 weeks ago at Boston Logan, Mrs. Barbara Miller, age 71, flying to Orlando for her grandson's first birthday party, arrives at the gate on time. The board shows departure in 45 minutes. She sits down relieved. Then an announcement comes. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing a slight mechanical delay. We'll update you in 30 minutes. Barbara waits. 30 minutes pass. Another announcement. "Just 30 more minutes, folks. We appreciate your patience." This pattern continues for 3 hours, each update promising just a bit longer, and Barbara is afraid to leave for food or the restroom because any moment they might board. She finally arrives in Orlando 6 hours late, misses the entire birthday party. Her grandson is already asleep, and she spent $300 on a party dress she never got to wear, while everyone watched her grandson blow out candles without Grandma there. The smart counter move is tracking your aircraft yourself. Use apps like Flight Radar 24 or FlightAware to see where your plane actually is. If it's still 3 states away, you know the 30-minute delay is fantasy. That's your signal to relax, get food, plan alternatives, not sit frozen like a hostage. Airlines may control the schedule, but once you understand the psychology behind their announcements, they lose their grip on you. The 7th secret is how airlines cancel your seat before you even miss your connection. Imagine sprinting through the airport. Your connecting flight is boarding. You can see the gate. The plane's still there. Door still open. You rush up and the agent says, "Sorry, your seat's been given away. You didn't miss the flight. You're standing right there. Welcome to predictive cancellation." American Airlines uses software called Aura that automatically removes passengers from flights if the system predicts they won't make their connection. Not when they actually miss it, when it thinks they will. Last month at Denver International, Mr. Thomas Richardson, age 73, connecting from Phoenix to Minneapolis for his daughter's PhD graduation. His first flight lands 8 minutes late. He has a 35-minute connection. Tight but doable. He's moving as fast as his knees allow. Gets to the gate. Plane is still there. Walks up and the agent says, "Mr. Richardson, you've been rebooked on the next flight. Your seat was reassigned." Thomas says, "But I'm here. I made it." And the agent responds, "The system auto-rebooked you, sir. The seat's gone." Next flight is 4 hours later. He misses his daughter walking across the stage receiving her doctorate. She's looking for him in the audience. His seat is empty. And when he finally arrives, she tries to smile, but he can see the heartbreak, one of the most important moments of her life. And Dad wasn't there. If this happens to you, don't accept it quietly. Ask if your removal was predictive. If it was, demand compensation for involuntary denial of boarding. That specific phrase matters. It's your legal shield to claim hotel, meal, or cash vouchers. Because in the data-driven age of travel, it's not enough to show up. You have to beat the algorithm that already decided your fate. So now you know. The airport isn't just a building where flights happen. It's a system of carefully designed traps testing your awareness at every turn, from exit row psychology that can save you $150 to TSA behavioral profiling targeting nervous seniors to gate agents earning commission off your confusion. Every secret you've learned exposes how travel in fall 2025 tilts in airlines' favor, but knowledge flips the power back. When you know how to request exit rows properly, when to stay calm at security, where to position your bag, when to demand cash refunds instead of credits, you stop being a target and start being the exception. You travel smarter, protected, aware. These 8 secrets aren't theories. They're patterns refined and disguised as policy. And now that you see through them, your next airport experience will be completely different. Before your next flight, share this video with other seniors who always get hit with fees or who miss connections they should have made. Let them know it's not bad luck. It's a system. And if you want more insider travel secrets that airlines wish stayed hidden, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Because next week I'm revealing the new TSA medication rules that are causing prescription confiscations at security checkpoints. You need to know this before your next trip. Stay safe, stay informed. I'll see you in the skies. This is Stella.